Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Four Lights Wellness. My name is Omid. In this video, two key concepts that you got to understand to get some stability through this pelvic area. If you're having lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain, SI joint stuff, sciatica, all of that stuff is important here. First part is the success formula. If you're trying to develop really any movement pattern, any muscle strength, anything like that, you got to go through these 4 steps. The success formula. Flexibility needs to be chief. Stability also then needs to be second, and then what everybody's favorite darling is, strength and power down here. Problem is, if you put strength and power before flexibility and stability, your joints are going to have a bad time. They start jostling around from the big muscles taking over, and it ends up leading to a lot of pain and replacements and things like that. But to the idea that the isolation of a specific muscle, let's say, for example, I'm trying to target this glute. Well, this glute doesn't just work by itself. It has some help from the hamstring. It also has some help from lats in the lower back. It also has some help from opposite hip flexors. So this is a little sequence I kind of put together. It's just going to be my workout for the day. So follow along if you really want. I've got my handy dandy Swiss ball here, and you need to have enough room that your legs can go out behind you with your hands on the floor. Now, where is this ball on my body? Well, think belly button to the pubic bone, somewhere in that area. If you go a little further forward, your hips are come up. If you go a little further back, you start to get a little bit more of a lower back stretch. So, number 1, flexibility. What do you want to stretch? You want to stretch more of your lumbar? Through here, you can come down, you can rock side to side, and start to open yourself up and find these areas that start to get a little tight and just kind of relaxing. If I come a little further forward, I can start to feel my kind of hamstring area opening up. You can take this up a notch by taking the knees wide and actually bringing the feet together and just hanging out in this area, letting the weight of the legs pull your butt down to the ground and just helping to stretch the posterior chain, the butt, the hamstring, piriformis, all of this stuff. Even the adductors are getting a good stretch, but all of these muscles get so tight when we sit all day, which I've been doing a lot more sitting lately, doing the online work I do. So now from here we go next. We go into stability. And what I'm going to do with my feet together here is I'm actually just going to kind of swing them left to right. I'm not trying to move my hips from hip engagement. I'm just simply sending a signal from my brain to my feet to take them left and right. Now, what I'm looking for here is a reflexive movement in the spine. I am not engaging my core here. I don't care about the core right now. It's going to help take care of itself. I'm just simply creating this. And the faster you go, the more the spine has some trouble actually stabilizing itself. So you want to find this kind of oscillation effect back and forth. It really starts to get the arms relaxing a little bit, the breath opening up a little bit, the diaphragm starting to breathe a little bit with that psoas engagement. We start to get into this just rhythmic movement of the spine, opening up cerebrospinal fluid, lymphatic fluid, all of the fluids in the body. As I do this, I usually like to go for about a minute or 2 just to kind of warm things up. If you're having trouble with this, stick here. This is just a great exercise in general to work on. Just 30 seconds to a minute. Do it 2, 3, 4 times. Really just getting that neural drive into the body. But if that's pretty easy for you, and you got the flexibility, you got the stability, next one is strength. Here is a fantastic one that I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about. I've seen some people doing the double extension through here, right? Trying to get glutes, hamstrings, lower back. But the problem with that is it doesn't actually translate into patterns like the lunge, patterns like walking, running, sprinting. Here's the trick. I'm going to drive my left knee into the ball really, really hard, getting abs engaged, hip flexors engaged, all of them. And now I'm just going to reach this right foot as high up to the ceiling as I possibly can. And what I'm feeling is some really, really deep glute max. Lots of glute max on this right side. I hold this for a couple of seconds. I come back down and then I switch. I'm going to drive this right knee into the ball really, really hard. Reaching this left foot up as high as I can. And I am feeling a glorious stretch Right now in my lower abdominal, hip flexor on the left, and almost kind of a cramping sensation in my deep inner glutes. As I go through, this is a fantastic mobilization for the hip capsule itself as well. But one of the things that I see as problems for a lot of people when they're trying to work glutes, especially because they say, well, the hip flexor is the antagonist to the glute max. Well, stretch your psoas too much, and it actually inhibits the opposite glute. So this is one of those ways to kind of integrate all of the muscles together into coordination. Again, I'm not trying to squeeze abs or core or anything specific. I'm just driving the knee into the ball. Having the hands against the floor helps to get the upper spine to stabilize and coordinate with this motion. And you'll hear I'm starting to shake a little bit. Starting to get out of breath. So I'd say that was probably about a minute and a half-ish. I'm going to take a little break here. If that is challenging, which it probably will be, stick there. And I've been working on this one, developing it for a few months now. So here's the fun part. Power. It's basically how much work can you do over a period of time. Multiply those two numbers, get the amount of power. So I don't have a gigantic heavy weight here, but what I do is I have little flippers. I'm going to point my toes, and I'm just going to go fast. How many reps can I get in as short a time as possible? About 20, 30 seconds worth. And I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you'll see my spine is actually very, very engaged here. And then I fatigue, and I come down. Power stuff is about 20, maybe 30 seconds worth of work. You don't really get much past 30 seconds with these kind of muscles. And when you work it, you got to rest for quite a while. I'm on camera, so I'm not going to rest the full 2 or 3 minutes. But really what I find with this particular one, especially with the stability ball that's trying to kick you off of it the whole time, I get this just beautiful, deep, multifidus work, oblique work, some reflexive core work. Again, I am not engaging my abs. I'm just trying to hold myself on this ball and go fast. You'll see the knees are locked out, toes are pointed, trying to keep my arms just ever so slightly bent. Getting all this beautiful glute, hamstring, hip flexor, coordination, this integration of this work. I'm going to do one more set, and I'll start to land this plane a little bit. I don't have a lot of time today, so this is my workout. If you're following along, your heart rate's probably up like crazy too. All right, last time. Trying my best to keep this spine nice and straight while I'm going through. It's just a small little motion. Not that bad. So, now that I stand back up, hips are alive, baby. Nice and balanced. And there's structures inside of here that we start to tend to forget about. If you've made it this far in the video, it ain't always just about muscles. We got that whole pelvic floor deal inside of here. We got ligaments and tendons galore in here. We got all the nerves to feed all the legs. We've even got some pretty impressive organs that are kind of vital to keep alive in that area of the body, especially for a lot of the fun in life that we want to have. And if we're only ever isolating out the muscles themselves to look good on camera, you could have a very fit-looking body, but a very sick inside. So challenge yourself with stuff like this every now and then. Me personally, I got rid of my sciatica, back pain stuff a while ago, so I don't do this as often as I used to, but especially if you're struggling with certain pains and instabilities in life, follow along this protocol in every single thing you're doing. Let's say even it's a push-up, right? Well, can the joint itself actually have the flexibility to move? Start getting some really light weights and moving around in circles through here. Try to find the areas that the joint is unstable before you start pressing really hard with some big heavy weights and wrecking your shoulder joint like I did. So that's it for this video, guys. I have a lot of other content that we put out into the world. Got the email newsletter. You can sign up at fourlightswellness.com. I've got some courses that I'm putting out as well. One a little bit more on the mental psychology side. I've got another partner course coming out that says crawling out of pain pretty soon. That's more on the physical side. Stay tuned to that. Again, fourlightswellness.com. But if you want a bit more videos like this, please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe as always. I hope this information is very helpful to you guys. Have a happy and healthy rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.